let's move to the regular agenda then, please. We'll call this regular agenda meeting to order. And our first item is the approval of the minutes of the February the 28th, 2014 special meeting and the March the 11th, 2014 regular meeting. Have a motion.
I'll move.
Second.
Mr. Curry, Ms. Wilkerson, is that all yes?
Yes.
Carol, is that all yes too?
Yes.
Okay, all yes. Thanks. All right, we don't have anyone who signed in, so that'll bring us our first presentation. And there have been many roadblocks that Dana Snyder and his entourage are here with the LSIC report.
First of all, we want to thank you guys. As you said, there's been lots of roadblocks. Back in the spring, we had a group of folks from the State Department come in and do a walkthrough to kind of tell us where we were at as far as our school system. One of the things they discussed with us was they felt like we were lacking, I guess, in allowing our students to be a part of school in the school system. So we decided to change that. And because our president just walked in, I'll turn that over to her. So the president of our LSIC, Ms. Beth Joyce.
Well, thank you. I was just finishing up another meeting, so sorry I didn't mean to make you wait. Hello, I'm Beth Ann Joyce. I'm the president of Lincoln County High School LSIC. Our other current members here are Mrs. Joanna Elkins. She teaches health science classes. And then our two student representatives are back here at the PowerPoint. We want to present this to you tonight. We realize as a priority school that we do have some issues that need to be addressed, and we are taking some school-wide initiatives to address those problems. But we also have a lot of good things going on in our school, and we want to show you those tonight in a PowerPoint. So I'm going to let our two student representatives, Jessica St. Gregory and Cole Snyder, take you through a PowerPoint to show you what things that are going on at Lincoln County High School. Thank you.
We are at Lincoln County High School, of course, a priority school. And what does it mean to be a priority school? We were among the lowest performing on our state base. All like our numbers for our index scores, we didn't reach those. However, our expectations of a priority school is that
since we're a priority school in the state of West Virginia, we've been set up with a coordinator who's Mr. Justin Boggs that's going to help us improve our school to get us to the correct target index scores and to the West test scores that were needed. Okay, obviously we are a priority school. The index score needed was 39.8%. And our target index score was 37.79%, so we were just shy by 2 points. And we met at least 50% of our targets in math and reading. And we met our participation rate in the West test.
And now with these are the proficiencies, and they add up to be 100 down here at the bottom. And that's how you get the total index score. And if you'll notice, we were high in most of our categories. I mean, here with our graduation rate, we were 23.65 out of 30, and here we were about half with 8.30 out of 20. And I mean, even though, I mean, some of these are not as high as the others, it would be fairly easy with the combination of the other ones that are higher to bring those up.
Like we said before, we fell just shy of our target index score. We needed 39.8%, and we obtained 37.79%.
We also met 50% of our targets with reading and in math.
In 2012, our math score was 31.57%. And in 2013, it was 21.38%.
Now, closing the gap. The special ed program has always had an issue with being a little bit behind. Now, here, from 2011 to 2012, we jumped from 5.88% to 2012 to 2013, we rose all the way to 14.52%.
And in reading, we made a big jump. In 2012, we were 24.7%, and in 2013, we went all the way up to 30.99%.
This is the largest jump in closing the gap. In 2011 and 2012, 0% of our special education children were proficient in reading. Last year, in 2012-2013, that jumped all the way up to 9.37%.
We have a solid graduation rate for the 2012-2013 class at 78.83%.
And our West Test participation rate was 95%.
And at Lincoln County High School, we have different initiatives for planning on improving our school. First, we have the Panther Cup Race, which the Panther Cup Race is designed for each class to participate, like to have a friendly competition against each other using West Test scores, their participation in activities, attendance, homecoming festivities like dress-up days. In October, we did every Wednesday that if you wore pink for breast cancer, then you got points towards your Panther Cup. For the heart awareness for heart disease, we did Friday you wore red and you got points. And during homecoming week, we had the hallway decorating competition and the dress-up. And this year, it was far more, like people were far more engaged this year than they have been my freshman, sophomore, junior year.
And even with, we were seniors, we've only been here for 4 years. I mean, even with just hearing and knowing students that were at the high school before us, this past year has been more successful and built more student camaraderie and just more basic school spirit, even within the last 8 years that the school has been here. And so this past year has honestly been like one of the best years of growth and just of camaraderie for the students. Our dropout prevention is our dropout prevention teacher is Mrs. Jessica Fry, and she, she helps the students to make sure that the students don't fall through the crack. She
calls parents to check in with kids. She works with kids just to make sure that they stay up on their attendance and they stay on the track to graduation.
And our credit recovery teacher is Mrs. Leanne Plumley. And our credit recovery program, we offer it as a class. So it's during the school day, therefore students aren't taking out any other time, like class time or any other time, to get their credits that they need to graduate. And also our credit recovery program is available during the summer. So students have access to that all year long.
Next we have Gear Up, which it provides money for students to be able to go to any post-secondary school. They'll help you get any money possible. So, like my graduating class is a Gear Up class, and it's helped us get tons of money to go to college. That way we'll for sure be on the track to college. Okay, well, we have, like social media is big now, so we use that to our best advantage. We have a Facebook page that has 617 fans, a Twitter account that has 579 followers, a YouTube page with 235 subscribers and over 61,000 views, and we're also partnered with Armstrong, so people can watch what's going on throughout the county and get information by just turning on their TV. And it's helped us as students because Mr. McCormick is the head of all the accounts, and he'll tweet scholarship information or this is going on, and so we are always aware of what's happening throughout the school system.
These are things our facility needs. We definitely need updated audio equipment in the auditorium, gym, and the cafeteria. I know personally, being in presentations in the cafeteria and in the gym, the microphone system it's terrible. If you were to get two microphones too close to each other, or if you were doing like a presentation, or like during homecoming week.
We had a great performances like from staff and students, and you could hardly understand what they were saying because it's so muffled and there's humming, and if they got too close, then you hear the loud noises, and so we definitely need new updated audio equipment.
Our sports facilities, that's very dire need. As well as just general maintenance and upkeep, just things that, the small things about the school that just needs to improve, just like making sure.
Lights
Lights,
and-
things like that. And also by staff request, we have copiers and copying supplies because typically our, like if you just have a regular worksheet, then that you needed to print off and like say you needed 150 copies, but you get to school and the copiers work.
So then you kind of have to improvise, and you're like, oh, I'll have to teach this today because I don't have worksheets to give to my students. Well, you gotta make copies of those.
You're doing just fine. Go ahead, tell them.
I was laughing.
Well, as Ms. Joyce said, our LSIC members are Principal Dana Snyder, Teacher Beth Joyce, Teacher Mike McCormick, Teacher Joanna Elkins, Student Cole Snyder, Student Jessica San Gregory, and Service Personnel Chris Wilkinson, Parent Dr. Scott Smith, and Parent T.G. Hoffman. And
Thank you guys.
Thank you all. Now, Mr. Snyder, he says he's delegating, and you can tell from Mr. McCormick's response over there what they're really doing. We know their tricks, though, so we'll get to it. Y'all have any questions, any particular things, board members? Mr. Snyder, I'm gonna, your graduation rate last year was 78.83. Now, are we up or down, or is that?
Be compared to the state or?
No, the prior year.
It's a, and I think with Jessica, being on board with this now dropout prevention, as they said, we're catching those kids that normally are dropped out and gone before we even realize they've dropped out and gone. They may miss 4 or 5 days of school, and then by the time we start making communication, they've moved to who knows where, so we have to carry them as a dropout.
You still have to
Yeah.
show up on.
Because if they don't go somewhere else, or we can't show that they've gone somewhere else, we have to carry them. We can't send them to Cleveland anymore like we used to. People check up on them.
I can see why. Okay. As far as the programs that you're all utilizing, are we doing anything new, or are we basically still doing the same programs that we've had in
From an
place?
academic standpoint,
Yes.
gosh, we've added AP courses, obviously, we don't do that each and every year. I don't know if you're familiar with policy 2510 has been repealed, is that right, Mr. Nick, just totally repealed? So there'll be lots of changes at the high school level next year, lots of changes.
I can't think of some of the different programs that you all have in place there, I'm sorry for that. But I'm trying to think what the names of some of them are.
I don't know, like the credit recovery or.
Well, these are things,
Do you have System 44 for some of their
System 44 for special ed,
students?
Read 180.
those are the kind of things I'm talking about, okay.
Yes.
I'm trying to help them
Yeah,
here.
thank you. System 44 and Read 180, yeah. Those are for those students that are struggling, obviously. System 44 is for our non-readers. Read 180 is for our students that are below grade level. We've actually double blocked those classes, so those students get a double dose of language arts.
Now, can they still access these programs at home, or are we talking about the same one?
No, I think you're thinking of the credit recovery components.
Okay. I guess the ones where maybe parents can access them and see how their student kids are doing and stuff.
Cognitive tutor for math, we have that also, and they can access that. Live grades as far as the grading system, and all parents and students have access to that for live grades.
West Virginia Writes is the writing assessment that helps students with their writing of essays. They can access that at home as well, to work on their essays at home as well as at school. We have that program.
The math department uses Edmodo as like a social network for all the math students, so they can, get help with homework or check on different things.
But a lot of these are the ones that are currently have been in place that are still operating, I guess, right? I can't remember all those names.
Yeah, they were saying, all your social media has increased, you know, some of those, I wouldn't say obsolete, but it's easier to get on Twitter or Facebook and have conversations than it is to do something else. Live grade, same thing, there's a component of live grade where you can actually have conversations with teachers and students, parents and teachers.
A lot of my teachers use a texting thing called Remind 101, and they can like send us text messages through the whole class over the weekend saying, read this chapter. Like snow days have been big, but especially through AP courses. They're like, they'll text us and it'll be like, read chapter 12, so we know what to keep up on throughout our courses.
But it's like a computer program, like it's not a number that you can't, it's like you can't.
Yeah, you
text
can't
it.
reply to it or anything.
And I will say to everyone that I've spoken with, I want the board to know that, is I am really, really concerned this year with West Test scores. Really, the priority school, that is a major concern for me. We've missed 30 days of school, that's, for us, that's an entire 6 weeks. You know, we can talk about making that time up, but it's hard to miss an entire 6 weeks. That's having kids in your face, giving them that quality instruction, so there's concern.
I think it's warranted and probably one that all schools have, I'm sure.
That's a priority school even more so.
Yeah, well, the pressure's on a little bit more maybe.
Yes.
Dave, let me ask you a question here about how you all operate as far as interest that students have in classes. Is there a time of the year like that the faculty or advisors or whomever meet with with students and?
We're actually doing that right now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And is that in preparation for next year,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Now, are kids put on a particular track at any point when they first come to the 9th grade?
They choose 8th grade and 10th grade. Yeah, they get to make that decision. Remember the old 5-year plan? Do you remember that? You were around when that happened. Now it's a 2+3 or 2+2. It's kind of the same thing.
Okay. But, so I guess when they meet, they kind of see how they're going in relationship to what their goal is. and
It's
all that.
actually a one-on-one with the counselor. We're doing that right now. The counselor pulls them out, sits down with them, across them, and has that whole conversation.
Okay.
In
Now,
the
go ahead.
CTE department, we actually have career exploration rotations. And so the students sign up in the 10th grade, they sign up for like rotation A or rotation B, and rotate through 4 of the CTE programs that they're interested in. And then that way they get some idea as to what each career is all about. And then our enrollment has increased in the CTE areas.
How long do those sessions last, each one?
9 weeks. It's a 4-year class,
So
and then
throughout
they
the year,
go
they
through
get them all.
4 different curriculums. So it's like, it's a 9-week rotation.
And she was telling you the 2 different types. One's mostly those shop area classes, the welding, and the other is the business, Pro Start, and
Graphic design.
Graphics design.
Okay, after you get all that, then you all, I'm sure there are other factors you consider too. At what point do you kind of design your class schedule for the coming year and try to make an estimation of how many students are going to be in each class and all
Once
that?
we have those conversations, we have a sheet actually when we sit down with that student, and you ask them based on their pathway, and then based on what they're looking to do, it gives us numbers. And then we also have to take into account the number of students who may not have passed 9th grade English. So we have to add X amount of sections of 9th grade English if we have several kids that don't pass the class. Once we get numbers, then we come up with a master schedule. We look at numbers first before we even start developing a master schedule. And as I said, the concern now is that because 2510 has been repealed, there's some issues or some questions out there we still feel like we need to have answered before we can move forward with that. The math sequencing is completely different, nothing we've ever seen before. So we're in concert with Mr. Midkiff, and he's keeping us abreast of what's going on at the State Department so we can make those decisions.
But at what point do you have a feel for like how many students? I mean, when school starts and they all come in and they see their schedule, when do they get their schedules?
They get
Then,
this before school's out.
before school's out, so I see what I'm
Yes.
going to have upon you.
Yes, that's our goal.
Well, it's a noble one too. At what point may students opt out of a class?
I think in our student handbook, it says you have the first 2 weeks. After the first 2 weeks, where it's got to be a major issue before we allow you to opt out of it. Because again, we've set a schedule, and if we're letting kids flip and flop around, then obviously we're going to have some classrooms with 40 kids in it, some classrooms with 5 or 6 kids in it.
Well, that's the reason I was asking how how you were able to plan and how much leeway they had.
It has to be a really, really, really good explanation as why you want that class, especially in our AP courses and our other classes. If you want to get out of the class to take a tougher class, we allow that quicker than we would allow you to go from a higher level class to a non-higher level class.
Does that apply to elected classes that they may have also?
Well, again, that's a little more fluid because we have so many different elective classes. If you're looking for a fine art class, you can do the art, obviously, or you can do music or something like that. If there's room available, and again, if there's, sometimes we have personality conflicts, we'll sometimes let them move. It's rare. It's rare.
I just know people's interests may change.
Yes. Yeah.
What happens over the summer, I guess.
I've not decided what I'm gonna go for B yet.
I've heard that from Mrs. Snyder. Okay. I hate to do all the talking. You all have anything else?
You're doing such a good job of it, though. You're just.
A lot.
I do part before
Okay. Okay, my next question, I'm gonna, since Mr. Smith's sitting back there, I'm gonna, this is kind of a dual question. One of Cole's items that he showed us up there were sports facilities. And I was hoping to see Mr. Christian, so I'll badger him on Sunday. We're trying to get a feel for the layout, Dana, of the way things are to look. I know Fred and I were talking the other day, with all that, we got a lot of dirt piled up out there.
We have that.
Well, this one particular question, but, and then I know Mr. Wilkerson's talked before about it. We'd like to see a master plan of the whole campus and where things are being proposed to be, and then at some point, I guess we'd have to buy into all that. Probably we would. But down where the football field is, if you go down towards the, you go towards the hillside, on the left there, is there a building, something to be
Yes.
placed there?
Yes. We have a schematic of all that. I think Mr. Christian even asked you when you would like us to present that. There's actually a potential indoor facility, but right now it'll just be like a weight room and a
Right.
coach's office, that type of stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yes, there is a room there.
Yeah, because Mr. Curry and I were talking about that the other day, trying to envision it, and I said, well, I know Mr. Christian had said that, that there was something that we would like at some point to be able to envision what that's going to look like, but also the rest of it, because you've heard the same things that we've heard, more so than us probably, about the band practice field and the upgrading of the soccer field and all those kind of things. And there may even be, like the FFA may have some plans to do things, and we'd like to see where they plan on doing those kind of things. Because we oftentimes hear it second or third or fourth hand, and we'd just like to have a schematic or something, wouldn't have to be elaborate, to show us how you all envision the campus to look. And then that way we know, and then if we may have some suggestions.
Would you like us to bring it at the next board meeting?
Well, if you just coordinate it through Ms. Lucas and Brenda, it'd be fine with us. A lot of times we rely on them on the volume of our agenda or our meetings, but they could probably, because it's not urgent, but we would like to see that maybe at a time when we didn't have a whole lot of other things going on. We want to be able to talk about it a little bit. But the reason I mentioned Dana there, I don't know, I guess Dana gets drug into everything related to maintenance, whether he likes it or not, Dana and Dana. But, when I look out there, I think of the soccer field, and it seems to me like that, unless I'm missing something, doesn't seem to be a monumental job to get that soccer field up to
I
code.
think just dirt's all we're
Okay. Well, to me, wouldn't that be a logical first place to start? I mean, and maybe, is some of that dirt there? I mean, we're not sure if that dirt's gonna be needed or
That's not
not.
piled up there to be taken to the soccer field.
Go somewhere else, okay. And that's why I don't know how much involvement Dana's involved in this, and I guess Ms. Lucas will eventually, she already hasn't, deal with, advise who's to do what. But I just wondered if y'all, to me, that would be, because that's a step you have to take, and if there's adequate dirt there, let's go ahead and do that, and then over the summer or whenever you do all these things, I don't know, and then whatever involvement Dana and them have of getting that done. I don't know whether that'll cause the JROTC to have to move a little bit, I don't know. I just, try to envision when I'm just driving by or something. But that's on your all's radar too, to do this. But if you could sometime, just schedule a time to come in and just kind of show us what the whole campus, because we'd like to kind of see what it's gonna look like years and years from now, maybe.
That's my concern. I hate to see little old buildings put here and grounds improperly used. I like to see something beautiful in the future and everything in place and handy for the students, you know, not some kind of a mess.
Right. Well, we always said, you know, we figure we get one shot to do it right. If we're gonna do it, let's try to do it right.
That's right.
I think that's why we've been so slow, is because is this right, is this not right? You know, it's not something we've ever done before, so we just wanna make sure that what we're doing is correct.
Right. And we agree and wholeheartedly feel that way too. But we, you know, once again, a little planning from all of us would probably be wise, because we might have some thoughts too. Maybe you can educate us.
I think once it's put in place and we have a master plan drawn up, to present it to the public, let them see what's happening. You might get some contributions that you otherwise wouldn't get if they see you have a master plan for the campus.
But I'll close on that note. You know, we hope that the West Test goes well.
Me too.
And we also hope that maybe next year, obviously, we're drastic on this weather. And but just all we can say, just keep plugging along and trying to improve those test scores and preparing these kids for moving out into the real world here, whatever they may be going to do, what their interest is, whether it be vocational, career, college, whatever.
We appreciate your support.
I'm gonna let Ms. Lucas talk while I'm